Oh,
I'm
I
on your
forgot
time.
I'm starting this. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to start with a happy Black History Month again because Ryan told me when I told him that he's never said that before. So, happy Black History Month. It is February 2024, and it's just a great month. And I'm excited for a new month. But if you didn't know, I'm Jasmine. I'm the host today, so I just started blabbling. But guess you can introduce yourself now. Like, nobody knows who you are.
And yeah, no one knows who I am. I'm Ryan, and I am here today as well.
Yeah. So we're excited. And we're starting with the Serenity Prayer. I remember. And are you ready?
Yeah.
We're not saying it together though, right? Because I feel like
Normally do, but I always say it because most people who are guest hosts don't really know it by heart
Right.
the way that I do. Plus,
Okay.
we say higher power instead of God.
okay. All right. Well, I think I'm just gonna say it because I don't want us to be like off the words.
I know how to.
You're gonna just go off my vibe.
I can go off of.
Okay. All right. You ready? I'll do what you do too. Higher power. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Great. All right. So what have you been up to? Physically, let's start with physically first because I actually have something physically, but I'm going to let you go first.
I will first start off because this isn't fair to Jasmine. We're going to also say that if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to write us on the thelivewholismpodcast at gmail.com. Subscribe, all those fun things.
Like, comment below.
If you're wherever you're watching this from, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, feel free to write us on there in comments, and we would love to read them and see what's going on. And now,
did you see what I did though?
No, I did not.
For the video, when you edit it, now you can put subscribe right above my finger.
That actually would be really freaking cool.
Yeah, no, I see people do it all the time.
That's
there you go.
Interesting thing.
You should try it.
Yeah. I don't want to do that. You did that. You took care of it.
Okay. All right, so physically, what you been up to this week?
So now, what Jasmine is also saying, we always have like interesting transitions, and then we'll say, so now we're going to talk about what we've been doing to stay whole and connected and aligned physically and mentally.
He should just host.
No, I'm not at all.
No, you should.
No.
This is only my first time, so
and that's why I'm helping
start
you out.
it.
I'm helping you out. I'm just making sure that it's like sometimes you do things the first way. The first time, sometimes people are just there to be like, yeah, we're going to try it like this. We're going to do it like that. Boom. What we know is staying whole and aligned and nourished physically and mentally, and then how we've been growing spiritually. But I'm also just a guest host today. Jasmine is hosting.
So what are you doing physically? It's the third time I've asked the question now.
All right, physically this week. All right, this week I like super got in the gym. I went hard probably for the first time. I'm talking about like when I was like trying out for like different like professional teams hard. Like I usually like to make sure when I'm in the gym I'm going that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have an absurd amount of energy. And if I don't get rid of it, it goes somewhere. And most times it's to overthinking. And so like this week, like I went hard on the bench. I'm not going nearly as heavy on my weight, which is pretty good. Like I usually try to cap it at like with like bench at like 315. And then like with squats, I try to cap it at like 315 too. So I'm not trying to be crazy. But like what?
Nothing. Why not be crazy?
Because I'm 34 and like I don't want to be that. I don't really need to be that strong anymore.
It's fair.
Yeah, I'm just like, my friend also said like, Ryan, you bench 300 pounds. You're doing better probably than most other people ever. And so
he's got a very valid point.
And so I was like, all right. And plus my friend Mike was just like, I mean, Ryan, like you really ain't gotta go that hard. I mean, like at the time when I was training for stuff, I mean, like I think my highest bench I got up to was like 365, 375. Mm-hmm. And then like I was able to squat like 400 or 500. I don't want to. Are you kidding? Like
you don't need to anymore. I get
think
it.
about that and I'm just like, man, my back hurts just from thinking about that. And so like, but like I was able to like get to doing my bench and doing like one of the things I've really been doing a lot. Like I'm going to a new location in my gym, so it's just been kind of like an interesting thing to start to get the vibes and the layout there because it's a whole lot smaller.
I hate it. I actually went to a new Planet Fitness 2 days ago and was like, why is everything so weird? And I felt like everyone was staring at me because I'm like, where do I go now? Like, what is this? I don't like it.
Yeah. And like,
I'm not a fan.
So my gym has like a turf. And so like, it's nowhere, like the one I went to in Morrisville is nowhere near as the one I went to in Morrisville is freaking huge. Mm-hmm. So like, I sometimes feel like I'm getting stared at because they're like, what are you training for? Because I'm like, I like do weight pushes and I'm just like doing, what's that shit called? Agility ladders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, fuck it. But but this week, man, like I was able to, I don't know, felt kind of good. Like for the first time, like kind of getting myself like in that regimen. I only go three times a week. I'd cap it at that. But like what's the day? Yeah, Thursday. Now Thursday was like probably the best I felt because those are what's called my dynamic days. So the way I was kind of trained as far as working out is there's 2 days of heavy days and it's bench, upper body heavy, lower body heavy. And then the third day is what's called a dynamic day. So everything's a whole lot lighter weight, but faster reps. Mm-hmm. And we're just trying to learn how to now move this and do a whole lot better. So that's when we started doing like ropes and jumps and all those different things. Yeah. So when I do that, I'm in the best shape ever. My first time ever doing that, I threw up. It was pretty intense.
Okay.
But like I was also training with like NFL athletes and probably NBA athletes.
Right.
But, so now like to kind of like get back to that a little bit. And it's weird because I'm kind of just doing it for tennis at this point in time.
I know a lot of tennis players that can squat 400 pounds.
Do you?
No. Of course not.
Okay, you know what's funny? Like when you said, I was like, my brain was like, now what am I not doing right? Because I was about to start in my mind going hard again.
No. But that's great.
Yeah, so like I felt kind of good because it's like tennis season's coming back up, and I just bought a new racket, and I am thoroughly excited about using that thing.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know, like that's one of my things for like working out is that I gotta always have like a reason to keep in the gym. Mm-hmm. And so like sports or doing something athletic to like actually use this kind of working out always helps me out. It's almost just like going to practice all the time without ever going to the game. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like it's boring as shit.
That's a very fair point. Why do I go to the gym now? I ain't playing no games. Huh.
Yeah.
Just the game of life at this point.
Yeah. I'm like, and if I don't do that, I will end up getting bored and being like,
man,
I don't need to go today.
A light bulb just went off in my head. I have no idea why I go to the gym anymore. Wow.
Yeah. That's how I pretty much keep myself like in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Muhammad Ali said it. Speaking of Black History Month, he was like, bro.
Come on, Black History.
He was like, training is the worst.
Yeah.
He said, but it's always worth it when you step into the ring and you realize you're better than them. Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of felt that way about like track. Because some of the races are literally, and even swim. You swim in like maybe 20 to 30 seconds for 50. You know how much you train for that 20 or 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Straight up. And like, if I don't, and like, I always like, no, I'm always kind of like, all right, like, that's why it's funny. Whenever I play tennis, I never tell folks I'm working out. Because I'm just like, it's a game. Yeah. Like, it's a reason now to do something. So that's why I'm always trying to like figure out what's kind of next on my scale of what I'm going to try. Because I want to do karate next.
Oh.
Yeah. Watch. I'm all into it.
Nice.
And I'll never do golf. I got to always do something that's a little bit more movement and fun oriented. But yeah.
Golf can be fun.
Can it?
I know a lot of people that golf, and I just can't imagine that there's not something in it that they keep going back for. And even like retired NFL and NBA players, they get into golf.
Well, if you think about, I get that. You've been on the other end of the spectrum for most of your life.
Yeah, but I mean,
could you imagine?
But they're also competitors, and to play at that level, you got to have a strong competitive edge. And I cannot imagine that they go from this side of the spectrum to the other side of the spectrum. I think golf's a lot harder than you think. It's a lot more competitive too.
I think so. I mean,
you're not like grunting or anything, but Oh, maybe you should try it.
I did.
Um,
Yeah, and I realized I didn't
you
like
should have
it.
led with that then. Just kidding.
Yeah. And so, but I mean, like, and so, but like tennis is kind of like, that's kind of like my thing too. Like to go from a team sport to now like an individual sport, I think it tends to test my mind out a whole lot better.
Yeah, I
and
feel that.
so, yeah. And so, but yeah, so today, this week was like super back in the gym. Like I did jumps and like, I'm really enjoying the gym a whole lot more because I'm actually starting to be able to add like strength to like my body alignment cues that I'll do in yoga because she focuses a lot on biomechanics. And so I had no clue what that meant for the longest time. And I still don't, honestly, to a certain degree, but I just know it means alignment. So whatever.
Gotcha.
And so I'm starting to be able to like add some of that into like how I work out or how like my body is positioned. And I don't know, it's really exciting. So this week was hard in the gym, battle ropes, quick jumps, and then weight pushes. And I was like, oh, for the first time, like I'm tired.
Yeah.
All right, thank God. So,
I'm tired thinking about it. So.
Are you?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're just getting back. You'll be
Battle
back.
ropes and.
You'll be back though. You're just getting yourself back.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going pretty good.
Okay.
I went this morning.
Did you?
Yeah.
Watch out. No, you really serious about this thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, if my sister's usually pretty good about going on the weekends, so like that's when I feel like I can get the best work in because she's there and it's fun, but also it's like, all right, let's do this, and then I get tired and she's like, bro, let's go.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
That definitely helps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
straight up. I met, and I guess it was cool to be in my gym too because there was these two people that always kind of inspire me. There's these two people when I was in my old gym, Lifetime Fitness. I would run into them. And it was just like this old couple. They were always just the nicest people in the world. And they just sit back and talk and be like, man, you really do be going hard in here. I'm like, yo, like y'all over here doing pull-ups at like, you look like you're 60 or 70.
yeah.
Like I'm a fan. And so I'm like, yo, like I really do like, I'm really inspired by y'all. And I've been thinking about them a lot lately. And then I happen to run into them. Like they go to my gym now.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we were over there just talking and just catching up. And I was like, man, him and his wife. And they were telling me they're jugglers. And I was like, man, this is just, I know that came off. So I was just like, yeah, this is fun. So anyways, yeah. So it was a pretty fun, cool, good week for the first time I felt a little bit more like myself. So yeah, pretty good. What about you though?
I guess my fitness this week has been less about my personal fitness and more about other people's fitness. So the face you gave, you're so confused by that. I'm putting on a fitness festival in May.
Okay.
And so I put on my first one with my business partner back in August of 2023. And now we're just kind of planning the first one in 2024. It's going to be in Holly Springs. And we're kind of getting together gyms and instructors and all of that to come out and just make a day of financial literacy and fitness more fun and accessible to anybody that wants to come out. It's a free event. And so I've just been kind of like in meetings and talking to gyms and trying to get like people on board for that. So that's what I mean by like, it's a little bit less about me. Cause of course I'm still going to the gym, but I said that last week. So I'm trying to switch it up a little bit.
So what physical thing does it involve?
Well, the one in, August that we had Zumba, yoga, CrossFit. We had some vendors like a boxing club and so like a bunch of different kinds. I mean, the goal is for fitness and finances to just be a little bit more easier to think about, do, have access to, whatever. So like you should be able to come for a full day, try out a bunch of different workouts and say, oh, I like this one, didn't like this one. Love the Zumba, the yoga was too quiet, whatever, and find out like what you like and be able to sign up for a gym on the spot.
There's a question to you because you're like, do you think that there's a connection between financial stuff, financial literacy, and mind stuff, and
the gym and fitness? I think all of them have very similar components in that they are hard to talk about, and usually once you start talking about it, it's too late. Like people will try to start eating healthier when they find out they're sick, or they start to budget when they have to go bankrupt, or, they're obese and now I need to start working out. So I think it's like people are a little bit more reactive versus proactive in all three of those categories.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is actually a really good freaking point.
Yeah.
That is very fascinating. There's another question I had, but then it completely just slipped out of my fucking brain. Shit, man. Oh yeah, what do you think that like? Would you say that like fitness, especially like with you, like because you're starting to get to a point where you're like, all right, I'm really taking the gym serious, and it's not about the outfits no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would you say that like that is like kind of like a really hard, what's the word I'm looking for? A really like, if you let yourself go in it, you know, not even that. I'm trying to find a way to love like where you are with it and everything, but I can't think of the fucking word though. So I'm gonna stop talking about it.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, swim season. I had a swim meet.
Do you
yesterday.
ever swim when you're like coaching?
No. But you know, the great thing is, and I stand by this for all my coaches out there, as long as the kids think that you still got it, that's really all that matters. Like I have a lot of my swimmers that follow me on Instagram or whatever, and they see I'm still in the gym, and I feel like a few of them are like, dang, if me and Coach Jasmine race, like I'm pretty sure she got me beat.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I probably do, and I'm just way too competitive to like not. But yeah, as long as they think, because like, don't you hate it if you're out there doing all these reps and your 300-pound coach is like, go, you go.
Yeah,
like,
exactly
I would hate that.
That's exactly how it feels.
So yeah, I like, and if we do dry land at the pool, like I'll get in that with them.
I don't know what that even means.
Dry land is just like the dry workouts of swimming. So you're not like in the water, but you're doing like push-ups or squats or abs and all that kind of stuff. So like I'll do some of that with them. And I think they can just appreciate the fact that I can still do it and will do it. So yeah.
What would you play if now that you've had this light bulb moment go off, as far as why am I going to the gym? What would you play?
Well, you know, I can still beat you in tennis. So there's that. This is like a long-standing conversation between us.
That you have underestimated me quite a bit.
I mean, you've definitely been in it. Like, I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now, so I'm sure like it's gonna be a little bit closer now. Excuse me, but I still think, again, I'm just a competitor.
Do you think I'm not a competitor?
Like my inner Serena is gonna come out and be like,
think I'm not a competitor?
No, I do. You just told me you can squat 400. Yeah, you are a competitor. Okay, you got it. So yeah, I would do tennis. I would totally get back into dancing, ballet, hip hop, contemporary type of dance. I used to always really enjoy that. I'd be on like in a bowling league.
Really?
I love bowling.
Really?
Yes.
That's fascinating.
I love bowling. I would definitely bowl. Let me see, what else would I do?
Which one of these seems like it would be, all right, now you're back in the gym. Now you're back focused. Which one of these? Oh, not now?
No.
Okay, let's take away.
Like I wouldn't go to the gym for tennis. Like the way you said, I don't think I would. I would go to the tennis court for tennis.
Well, yeah, I go to the tennis court for tennis too.
I know, but I wouldn't add the gym to that. It's just me.
But
what do you think? What
it's not like mentally, I'm keeping myself in shape in the gym so that I can play tennis. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to the gym for tennis.
Of course.
But it's a motivation.
Yeah. But I still wouldn't go to the gym for tennis.
So
motivation or not.
What sport or what thing would you do, like joining a league, like a kickball league or something like that? Would you do anything? Let's take out the fact that you're busy. Let's not even think about that. I know you're trying to go.
So you mean like if I have all the time in the world?
Not all the time in the world, but let's rephrase that. Let's say you decided to carve out some time.
Have you seen? I don't even know if this is actually something I would do, but I think these women are amazing athletes. But they had like the lingerie football league.
Oh yeah, back in the on MTV. That shit. I used to get so bad. I used to feel so bad for them. I was like, yo, that turf when they fall, that shit go burn.
I'm sure. But their bodies are always so good looking. So like, I feel like that I would go to the gym to make sure my body looked good for that.
You wouldn't be an ultimate frisbee girl though. I feel like you would do that.
Ultimate frisbee?
Yeah.
No. Why would you think that I would do that?
I don't know.
You do not know me. I don't think I've thrown a Frisbee maybe 3 times
To
in
be
my
honest,
life.
they throw them things so good. I'm just like, I don't know how y'all are able to do this.
Yeah, and even when I did throw a Frisbee to like the 4-year-old that I was throwing it to, like I completely missed her and
That
she was
thing
like
starts
2
tilting
feet
too
in front
much.
of Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, the heck?
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's talk about what we're doing mentally now. How was your week mentally? What are you doing mentally to stay whole?
I don't think I've done anything. You know what's crazy? I'm actually not. Oh, God. 2 things. Okay, so I said last week I was playing the game. Still doing that.
Mm.
But so now that like I kind of got solutions and like I kind of know what I like kind of got a plan in place on like how to start taking care of those things. Now it kind of feels a little bit more free.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is kind of weird. So you remember the Lonely Island?
No.
They made like joke songs. They were from SNL, but they were actually pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on a boat with T-Pain.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, so I've been today. I was listening to them, and I was like, I was just like, this is pretty fun. And so,
Love it.
Yeah, that, and I was listening to Akon's "I Just Had Sex." That was a fun song. I don't know. I was like, I don't know why I can't stop listening to these guys. They're making me laugh. But I've been super like getting back into like, not getting back into it, but I'm on like discovery mode for like new comics nowadays. And so, not discovery mode. I'm wanting to go back to like going to some live comedy shows. So I'm going to sign up sometime within the next few weeks. There's this comedian, Josh Johnson, and hilarious freaking dude. He's going to be in Raleigh. So I've been watching a lot of his clips on YouTube, and he's just dumb funny. And so, like I said, comedy lately has just, I don't know, there's a level of freedom, I think, right now within me where I'm not trying to discover something through like something else like it. So now there's some freedom. But what I did start, which I'm pretty excited about.
Okay.
I don't really watch. So like I can tell where I'm at right now because I'm actually on discovery mode and wanting to like watch new things. Normally when I try to think about watching new things, I'm overwhelmed by it. There's too much stuff out there. I don't know if it's going to be good. And it's just, I don't like to do it. But I decided yesterday, I'm very curious about this Mr. and Miss Smith show that Donald Glover is doing.
Okay.
So
Is it based off the movie?
No.
Oh.
It's like it's a TV show, but I mean, like that movie was based off of another movie that came out in the '60s. That was a remake. I had no clue.
Oh, neither did I.
Yeah.
With like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, that was a remake.
Oh.
Yeah. So they basically just made a TV show thing of it. But this one is a little bit different as far as how they did the Mr. and Miss Smith. Like in the movie, they were both spies, but they didn't know they were spies.
Right.
This one, they actually like consciously signed up and like didn't exactly know that like what they were signing up for, but they're actually both partners pretending to be married.
Okay.
Completely different concept than what that movie was.
Right.
And so but nah, like, so it actually kind of piqued my interest a little bit.
Yeah.
Of just like, all right, like this is a whole lot different. And anything with Donald Glover is, I know it's always like serious but funny, but like, and I'm just a huge fan of his just in general. And so yeah, so I'm kind of like excited for me this week. So I think legitimately I'm starting to be able to have like the mind and the space to be able to like be like, I'm ready to see something new. What the freak is kind of going on?
Yeah.
And I've been waking up a lot in the mornings listening to instrumentals instead of like a lot of music with a lot of words. And then yeah, so, but I'm pretty excited about this Mr. and Miss Smith show. I was about to start binging it last night, and I was like, bro, I got so much shit to do. But it actually was good. And so mentally, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm on a real kind of just like, not discovery, but I've learned that I'm a new person than probably what I was, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, especially like 4 or 5 years ago when I was really doing a lot of this heavy work I'm doing now. So it's just like a mode of who am I now and how do I kind of move about.
Yeah.
excuse me, because a lot of times I can sit back and still be making decisions based off of old thinking. I'm just like, I don't even think like that. So how the fuck do I move now? So now I move by watching Mr. and Miss Smith on Amazon Prime. So it's pretty, I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
But, yeah. So that's that.
Fun. Well, I finished the book that I was talking about last
Did
week.
you?
I did.
Watch out.
Finished it and started a new one.
Well, who is this, Jasmine?
I know. I'm only on like chapter 2.
It's fine. You can wait.
I started it at least. So I was happy about that. And it was another one from my sister. And I found out today when I picked her up from the gym that it's actually by the same author, which
really?
I didn't really connect those two. And it's funny because I realized that because she's given me both books, I start reading it without like looking at the back, seeing what it's about, anything. So like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just like what's this going to be about? Like just a surprise read. And I think that that's been better for me because I feel like if I read the back of it and know what's going to happen, it might change how I feel like going into it.
Do you know what's going to happen on the back of the book?
Not like, but I have no idea what this book is about, period.
Okay.
I know the title.
You're going in there straight up.
I didn't
dark.
even know the author, clearly, because I didn't know it was the same one from the first book I read. And so, like, when I opened up the first page, chapter 1, it was set in Afghanistan. And I was like, oh well, this is different. Like, but that's what I mean. It was a huge surprise to me that I was just like, wait, what is this book called again? And, like, then I looked at the front of the book and was like, oh, well, let's just keep going. And so
that's fast. That's a fascinating way to go about it.
Yeah. And I think I would only do that with a recommendation. I wouldn't just go to Barnes and Noble and just pick out a book and read it.
Do you think there are people that do that?
I do think there are people that do that. I'm not one of those people.
What an adventure that has.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not that adventurous nor that much of a reader.
You're slowly moving towards, though, it sounds like.
No, I don't think I'm really just trying to get a bingo square crossed out.
You are really on what's the word I'm looking for? You have
I said
task.
a goal.
A goal.
Yeah. I'm very goal oriented. So it works for me. Apparently I need to do this every year. So that's
Is it good?
I'm only on chapter 2.
Has it piqued your interest?
I read chapter 2 after reading chapter 1. Yes.
Ooh.
I did not just put it down.
Is it still helping you out at night to be able to calm down?
Actually, I don't think when I started reading it, either one of them were at night. I was in the car when I first started reading it in a parking lot waiting for the building to open for the swim meet. Oh. Yeah, so I kind of bring it with me everywhere. And if I just have an open spot instead of going onto my phone and working, I read.
Who is
Shut
this,
up.
Jasmine?
Oh, my God.
Don't
make a big deal about it. I'm not set yet on it.
That's a big freaking deal.
I mean, we're trying.
That's a big deal to sit back and put down your work, which in the time that I've known you, you haven't really done that much, and just to read.
Yeah, but it's funny. So then we get into the pool and all the swimmers are getting their suits on and stuff like that. And warm-ups hasn't started yet. I pull my laptop out and I had to do something for work. And the Middle Creek coach comes up to me and she's like, "Are you working at work?" She was like, and I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "You just need a day." And I was like, "I know," because she always sees me at the dive meets with my laptop out and I'm working while working. But that's like what I'm used to. So I didn't feel like getting my laptop out in my car. So I just got a book. It just felt a little easier in that moment.
This is a big step for you, man.
And I knew it was like 10 minutes. And like if I had gotten my laptop, matter of fact, okay. Confession. I didn't work because the Wi-Fi didn't reach my car.
Okay. Well, it's fine.
And I tried. I opened it up. It was like the guest Wi-Fi and it just wouldn't connect.
Sometimes God sends a burning bush.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
So then I read.
And
I just realized that was the reason I read. It's like, I gotta tell you that.
Whatever it freaking takes to move you inch you towards it a little bit, man. That's a big freaking deal, though. At least you did something with that.
I did.
Yeah, you didn't go inside and then try to go work. That was also an option.
The building was closed. We couldn't get in until 2:30.
It's a good thing God just said, "I am going to." She needs to do this.
Yeah. So.
That's freaking amazing, though, man.
Thanks.
Slowly, you're starting to put down the work and pick up Jasmine, and put down the work and pick up Jasmine. It's pretty exciting. I'm proud as hell of you right now, man.
Thanks.
You freaking. All right. So sometimes you got to give folks their flowers, and that's what I do.
Appreciate it.
And it's going to make you sometimes it makes people super embarrassed. But you have decided to mentally this week, bringing that back, you didn't work and instead read, which is what I was telling Lucy this shit. I played Sonic a lot growing up. Love that game. And in Sonic 2, there was a stage that you go in the water. Didn't particularly like it. I tried to make his feet go as fast as they could so I could try to get over that stage because you could do that. But then eventually he ends up falling into the water. Fucking sucks. But then he ends up, so I'm like, Sonic can't breathe underwater. This is a problem. So how am I going to do this as a kid? It's a lot of anxiety when you're playing this game on Sega Genesis. And so, but like throughout the whole entire level, they have like little air bubbles you can take. They gets them real quick, and then he's able to continue on a little bit. So in this particular case, Wi-Fi not working, building not opening, it's fine, whatever, doesn't really matter. Don't judge yourself there. I can't tell you how many times I've done something healthy because my unhealthy thing was not there. Fair. So, and then you took your little air bubble. How'd you feel going into the meet?
I don't really remember. It was yesterday. I think I felt fine.
Did you feel more relaxed?
By reading instead of working?
Yeah.
No, if anything, I felt less relaxed because I didn't get
small steps. You know what? You took the action
that I needed to get done.
I've heard this said before. Sometimes we can't think our way into better acting. Sometimes we have to act our way into better thinking. So.
Way to not butcher that. That would have been a hard one for me.
Do what?
I said way to not butcher that.
Oh, yeah. I've said it so many times.
Yeah, I feel like that's an easy one to just completely screw up.
That's freaking dope, though, man.
Thanks.
Where you go?
Okay. So as the host, I have to come with the topic, and I'm going to be different than Ryan because I'm not going to have a story for this one to get into it. It is a question.
Okay.
And the question for the topic is, what or who is holding... Let me rephrase. I couldn't see my phone down there. What or who are you holding on to that's holding you back?
Golly, there's no like... All right, so the reason why I tell a story, I like to give context. So,
you want the context?
Yes.
Okay. Not even the context. The answer for me that I realized this week, and I think January was just kind of like a whirlwind for me. Okay. January was, there were highs, there were lows, there were the in-betweens, and it was just kind of all over the place. And so I was really, really looking forward to February, just to get rid of January. And I kept seeing this Instagram post talking about how January is going to make you feel all 31 days. Maybe because it's after the holidays, it's a new year. You got the highs and the lows of maybe starting something and not really getting to that place that you wanted to get to, like these new year, new me goals or whatever the case is. That wasn't necessarily my case. It was just a matter of there's just a lot going on.
Okay.
And I realized that one of the things that I'm holding on to that's holding me back is the version of my older self.
Okay.
Instead of working through a trauma or an event and not wanting to hold on to that, but instead releasing it to become a better version of myself that doesn't deal with that. And so then the other part to my answer is comfort. I'm holding to comfort, and that's holding me back. So
the comfort of like your old patterns and stuff.
Just the comfort of having a schedule that I stick to and not trying anything new, or having certain people in my life that I've probably outgrown, or stuff like that. So that's kind of the context of, of course everyone says new year, new me, but this was a new month. I was so ready for it. And just realizing like you got to release that so then you can move on to whatever is next, and also being okay with whatever that is and not knowing it off gate, because I'm definitely a person that prefers to know what is coming. I think most people are, because I have a certain control pattern that I like, and if I'm not in control, I don't like it. But I read something that says when we stew over why things happened and hold on to those feelings, then they can hold us back. And if we let go of why and consider what now, we can see that often the greatest hardships of our life can be our greatest opportunities to learn and grow. So, ask again. What or who are you holding on to that's holding you back?
Well, first of all, thank you for the context.
Welcome.
It actually makes a whole lot more sense now. I mean, damn, it's damn near continuation of like kind of where I'm at. I think it's just where I'm at right now in my life right now. But it's funny, like the first thing like that kind of came to my head, you finally said something that kind of triggered a little bit for me. The other day I was doing my I'm gonna tell my story.
I know you are.
So I've been trying to make sure I do my devotional daily, and so one of the things that like I learned how to do in my pastor had taught us, like there's like a devotional that like takes you through the Old Testament and the New Testament twice throughout the year, and so I'll usually use like just highlight a verse that like, even if you don't know what the freak it means, just highlight what impacted you, like why in the world like that piqued me, what the freak was that all about, and write down what you took from it and how you're going to apply it to your life. All right, I've probably been doing that for the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. And so, I mean, I have so many entries. And so this particular one I was reading, and I usually get bored after Exodus, because that's just a bunch of laws they're talking about. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, this is so boring. And I realized probably some years ago, like, oh, this is where the work is being done. No wonder I'm freaking bored. I want some excitement. The work is fucking boring. And so, so one thing I'm learning, I learned a little bit from reading this particular time. There was a verse that stuck out, and it said like, God's going to send a hornet, when the Israelites, whatever, God's going to send a hornet to take care of all the other people that are in y'all's land. You guys just worry about staying here and multiplying and get your shit together. And I was like, what the fuck is that hornet? And so like, what's that all about, actually? Like, what are you sitting ahead? This is a huge part of me. And I was like, no, so I went and I stopped my devotional, and I was like, stopped writing, because at first I was like writing. I was like, yeah, it's very interesting. God said he's going to send a hornet. What is that hornet? So then I like stopped writing, and I went to go look up what the hornet is. I like to always look up where the like the origin of it. So I looked up like things in like, what the Hebrews meant and stuff like that when they first wrote it. And like this guy was like explaining, he was like, based off of the Hebrew meaning, like, you would think like, is it a plague or is it like fire? Like, what, but based off the Hebrew root word for this, like, it wouldn't be that, it wouldn't be a plague. It didn't sound like it was a fire. There's no record of that. They didn't there wasn't actual hornets that went there. So they just kept trying to find, like, I kept trying to find what the fuck is this hornet that God sent, so I can know what the fuck is going on up there. Yeah. And couldn't find it. By the end of it, they were just like, I mean, at this point in time, like, was it an angel, a spirit? Like, we don't exactly know. And so then that's when it hit me. I struggle with doing the work when I don't fucking know what God's doing on his end. I need to at least check in and see what you got going on. I spent so much time trying to find out what that hornet was till it finally hit me. Oh, this is the part where I gotta just trust and just do my part, which is rough for me, because my part is often so boring and I feel like a child. Don't just sit here and tell me to multiply and do shit. Let me know what's going on up there. Let me know that I know it's worth it. And so, that's a big flaw of mine. I have taught myself an incredible amount of things so that I can move forward. And that's probably kept me stagnant more than anything else, because I just won't move forward and just trust that it'll get done for me. I have no trust that it's going to get done for me. Or at least not that it won't get done for me. I know it'll get done for me. It won't get done the way I want it, or I'm afraid to. This is a big thing in mind. Like, I'm afraid to start doing the work because what if I don't get what I want? And that's probably my biggest fear, is that I start doing all this work, start doing all these things within myself, and the thing that I was motivated to start the work on, I don't end up getting it. Like, that was my biggest desire in the first place. For example, with this person or something like that, like, God, like, I'm about sick of you telling me to do this work, and then you just keep fucking taking that shit away from me. Like, that's what I was doing this for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you'll get over it.
Right.
And so, that's probably the biggest flaw of mine is, and I still don't know. I still don't know how I'm going to ever be okay with it.
Do you have to be okay with it though?
No.
Because it sounds like you're holding on to it, but you don't need to.
Yeah, that's my problem. I don't have to be okay with it, but I still move and act and struggle with going forward because I feel like, let me at least be okay with this and be okay with what you're doing up there before I start to do something. That's a real mental block. It's so weird to be both aware of it and know it's not working for me, but also continue on in the pattern.
But don't you think, like, through going through it, whether you get what you wanted to out of it or not, you're still learning something that's valuable along the way?
Yeah, that's cool. But I'm always trying to learn it so I can get that thing that I was.
No, I get that too. But, like, I'll use the example of my entire modeling career existence, right?
Okay.
Like, when I started modeling, I didn't really want to. I just kind of got into it, and we can get into that story another time. But going into it, I'm like, okay, like, I should be on the cover of some magazines or something. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal. Because I don't really need pictures. I can take a picture. And then even, like, walking in Fashion Week, it's like, I don't want to just walk in Fashion Week to walk in Fashion Week. I want to walk in the big name shows, and I want the celebrities all lined up, and I want them to know what my name is. But I never got to that point. However, I got comfortable speaking in front of people. I got comfortable on a stage. I got, there's certain things that I took from that I'm now using in my author journey that I wouldn't have gotten from had I not gone through the modeling experience. Does that make sense?
I think that can be a problem of mine at times, what makes it tough for me to, like, trust and have faith in God. Because I'm just like, how is the things I'm using, or that how is this helping me out somewhere else? Now, a lot of people, like, I think that's a me thing. A lot of folks kind of look at me and be like, bro, do you not see what all you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I'm like, that's a real big flaw of mine too, is I'm very hard on myself when it comes to that. Cause I'm just like, I mean, it's what, I just sit here and record a podcast in my house with cameras that I know. Yeah, I know how to edit. I know how to do all that stuff, whatever. Who the freak cares? Like, my mind, that's how my mind.
But you and I are similar in that sense. I still don't consider myself an author half the time. And I done wrote and put out 2 books, self-published. Like, but I don't necessarily love being an author. But there was a need, and I created a solution for that need and that problem. And I still don't consider myself having done something, even though I'm giving a gift to a lot of, like, so I'm very similar to, I don't really know what it would take. And this is my problem anyway. I don't know what it would take for me to consider myself a successful. Is it a best time sellers list? Is it a certain amount of books that I sell? Because I don't think I'll ever be justified or satisfied with a certain level of accolades or whatever. Like, there's always going to be something else. And I think that's part of the problem with marriages these days. Not to go on a complete tangent, but I'm starting to realize that if you're always looking for something different or never satisfied with where you're at right now, then that's always going to be a problem.
I think that's when that is what I'm having to really do. I'm really, when I was in my 20s, I fell in love with the process. I fell in love with it so much to the point where I struggled to actually finish something up because I didn't know what it would. I mean, it's still something I struggle with now with my books. I struggle ending them because I get really sad. Like this.
I don't struggle ending them.
I struggle
starting.
I love everything about the discovery process. I love everything about that. And so like in my 20s, like it just felt like, all right, like this is like a dope thing. Like I just fell in love with, oh my God, I can't believe I know this now, blah, blah, blah. And I think now like there's a shift in me that's just like, all right, like I really want to, like, I feel like I know an incredible amount to the point where it's an overwhelming amount in my head. And I want to be able to put it towards something bigger than myself.
Yeah.
And and it feels kind of stifling at times. So, I get frustrated with guys sometimes, just like, hey, I'm just gonna keep you over here and keep you learning. I'm just like, hey, bruh, like I'm old now. That's how I feel. And so I think now what I'm really trying to do to help myself to be able to deal with that is to once again just shift my focus to the process and the gratitude of knowing something and trying my best to let go of results. That is the only thing that really does get me. I want to know that what I struggle a lot with worth. And so I just want to know that what I'm doing is worth it. And everybody would keep saying like, well, if guys, then it's going to always be worth it. Yeah, fine. That's great. Glad to hear that. But, I really, really, really struggle with, if I do all of this work, like, is it going to be worth it? Because so far, all I keep getting is, well, you're learning. And I want to at least get something tangible. I asked God for that, like probably a few weeks ago, like, dog, like I have paid attention to small signs for years. Could you send me something big? I need lightning flashing. Please don't, not in front of me, but I need something that just says, bruh, like it's huge. And I probably in those days had some pretty big moments, but I think that's kind of like a real big attitude of my own. I can't say it's a specific person. I've gotten to a point where I've stopped letting that kind of a person have that kind of power over me, but a certain personality type or a certain thing within myself that person brought out is what usually holds me back. And a lot of it is just right now, at least, it's doing the work while God sends that hornet up there, and I don't know what the heck it's going to look like. So I think once I get, and I'm trying every morning, so that's why every morning I start with a prayer of just like, all right, God, I don't know what you want, but just make sure you make it clear and not subtle, because I will miss it if it's subtle. Yeah. And after that, I kind of just try to let it go. And I don't really particularly believe it. I don't really particularly want to do it. But as I said before, can't think my way into better acting. Act my way into better thinking. And so, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Awesome. I like our topic.
Yeah, it was a good topic, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, look at that. See, you crushed it for the first time hosting.
You're bringing it next time.
Yeah.
I get so nervous when you bring the topic.
Why?
I don't know, because I just don't know what to expect.
And look at you. You brought a deep one yourself.
Yeah, because I feel like you're always so deep, so I had to match that.
Yeah, who knows what the topic's going to be? There's a lot of things about to happen in probably the next few days. And
it's fair.
Yeah, who the hell knows? So.
Good.
All right.
I'm glad. Well, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and talk to you next time.
All right, you guys. And we're going to also end it
with the Serenity Prayer. Right? Higher power. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right, y'all. See you next week.
See y'all.